up, my therapeutic people? How y'all living out there? Hopefully you guys are therapeutically living, getting you guys some nature and getting that natural vitamin D from the sun. I'm so excited to be bringing you guys another therapeutic video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make an alkaline fruit cheesecake. So before we begin on our alkaline fruit cheesecake, I'm going to tell you guys the ingredients. First, you're going to be able to want to soak your Brazilian nuts overnight so it can soften, so it won't be that hard for when we blend it up. You're going to need some dates, some coconut chips or some coconut flakes, sea salt, agave. You're going to need some hemp milk, almond milk, or coconut milk, whatever you prefer, but just make sure it's alkaline milk. Some blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and mangoes. And then you're going to need some fresh squeezed lime juice as well as some sea moss gel. Now, if you guys don't have any sea moss gel, I do sell sea moss. If you don't know what sea moss is, sea moss holds 92 minerals. Our body holds 102 minerals and is very essential to have in your day-to-day life. It helps your immune system, your blood flow. In general, it helps your body on a day-to-day basis. Sea moss looks like this in dry form. You can find this on my website. It'll be in the description box below with more information on how you can use sea moss. And like I said in my previous videos, I'm going to be cooking with sea moss gel a lot. So sea moss is very essential to have. Description box below, and you can get your sea moss shipped to you. Hey guys, so first before we begin, I'm going to cleanse my hands with my all-purpose hand cleanser. You can also find this in the description box below. I have a video on how you can make it yourself, or you can go to my website and I'll send you a dry form of the hand cleanser and you can make it yourself. Everything will be in the description box below on how you can purchase these therapeutic products. So first, you're going to need a food processor and a blender. Now, I don't have my blender right now, but if you don't have a blender, I'm going to be showing you how you can make your Brazilian nut cheese, aka just Brazilian nuts, with your alternative milk and a food processor. So we're going to be doing it a little bit at a time since we can't put everything in a food processor. So let's begin. So first we're going to be making our crust for our cheesecake. So those ingredients is going to be dates, coconut chips, a little sea salt, and agave. So I'm going to take about 3 dates to make the crust. And then I'm going to use a cup of coconut chips, or you can use coconut flakes, whatever you choose to do. A pinch of sea salt. And I'm going to use about 2 to 3 tablespoons of agave. And we're going to pulse it up. All right, and if your dates get stuck a little bit, just move it around. And I'm using an 8-inch pan. I'm going to show you the pan in a minute. You can use any size pan you want, but if you're using a bigger pan, I would double these ingredients. This is how our crust came out. This is the pan I'm using, kind of like a bread pan. If you want to use a bigger pan, if you want to use a round pan, you can. This is just the pan that I'm using right now. So it doesn't matter the pan that you use. I'm going to spread out our crust all the way. Until everything is covered at the bottom. Till literally everything is covered. And don't be afraid to use your hands, or if you have a little spoon, you can do that as well. I'm just making sure the whole bottom is covered. and then I'll show you guys what it's like this. Once you get it to the bottom, spread it all out like that. Now that we got our crust like that, we're going to start forming the inside of it, in which the inside is just going to be the mangoes. And the mangoes is just going to lay on the side really thin. Just get your thinnest pieces and have that on the side. So it should look similar to this or better. This is my first time making it. And now we're going to put this in the freezer while we're making our filling. So now that our crust and our mangoes around it is in the freezer forming, we're going to make our cheesecake filling. So I'm going to take about 2 cups of soaked Brazil nuts, and this is for that creamy type of texture. I'm going to take 2 dates, some salt, 2 pinches of salt. I'm going to take about 3 tablespoons of agave. But you can taste it once it's all blended up. You can taste it and see if you want to put more agave in there, more dates, things of that nature. Alright, and we're going to put some lime juice in there, and these is 3 key limes that I squeezed. And we're going to take 2 tablespoons of sea moss for the thickness, so it can sit right, and also for the benefits. So 2 tablespoons of sea moss. And then we're going to slowly add the milk, which I have almond and coconut milk mixed together, but you can add whatever you want. Alright, you guys, and if you guys have a blender, I definitely recommend having a blender, but I like my blender. So, yeah. You want it not thin and not thick. So, just like a cheesecake filling, that's how the texture that you would want it, and I'll show you. Taking it out to stir it a little bit. Consistency that you would want for your filling, your mock cheese filling, Brazilian nuts, agave, a pinch of salt, some lime juice, some sea moss. So now we're going to check on our crust in the freezer. It actually froze up from the bottom. If you guys could do is pour our filling in the middle. You can pour as much as you want. I'm not until, well, actually, yeah, I'm filling it all the way up until it covers the mangoes. So yeah, that's pretty much all of it until it filled up the mangoes right here. And now I'm going to set this in the freezer for about 3 to 4 hours. And I'm gonna come back and we're gonna put our toppings on it. Cheese is set with the crust on the bottom, the mangoes around the side, and the Brazilian nut cheese with agave, some seasoning, lime juice in the mix with the filling. Now it's time to put our toppings on. Start off with our strawberries. Cut the strawberries into slices. I didn't use the whole strawberry, so I'm doing it like that to show you up close. And I'm just gonna put the strawberries around the whole mock cheesecake. And this can be considered as a fruit pie, whatever you want to call it. But I do have a video on where I'm making Brazilian nut cheese and where I got the idea of fruit cheesecake from. If you guys are wondering, like, how is Brazilian nut some cheese, I do have a video on that, on where I'm making Brazilian nut into cheese. So Brazilian nuts is an alkaline substitute for cheese, substitute for dips, all kinds of things. So this is how that came out with the strawberries. Now I'm gonna put some raspberries around there as well. So I'm just gonna put a little raspberry in there, and then I'm gonna fill it in with blueberries. And then I'm gonna put some blueberries in the middle. Now if you have a bigger pan, it'll be circular, but this is how that turned. This is how mine's turned out. So I'm gonna sit this in the freezer for a little bit so it can set. And then we're gonna come back and we're gonna do a taste test. All right, you guys, so this is how the Alkaline fruit cheesecake came out after leaving it in the freezer for a few hours. We're going to do a taste test on our all alkaline fruit cheesecake. It's looking yummy. I'm going to cut into it so you guys can see the middle. And if you guys don't want it this cold, you can leave it out for a few. But it can really be an alternative for ice cream, frozen yogurt, stuff like that. Alright, so this is how the inside looks. This is how the inside looks, if you guys can see that. And I'm just gonna taste the corner of it. Yeah, it tastes like a frozen cake. I definitely would recommend leaving it in the refrigerator, but I put it in the freezer so it could set more quicker. I definitely probably would end up putting it in the refrigerator. Yeah, it kind of tastes like a cheesecake slash cake that's cold. It definitely reminds me of that type of taste. So yes, you guys, an alternative cheesecake that you can have that doesn't have any preservatives. Everything is natural. Very delicious. Definitely for these summer days, hot days coming up. This can be a nice meal to have, nice little snack, dessert that you guys can have. I rate this a 10. Definitely something that I will make again. And I'll probably do something different with the bottom, with the crust. So if you guys have any recommendations, any other cheesecakes out there that you guys want me to make or try, definitely comment that below. Especially the bottom is really, really good, but it didn't stick on there. Like I said, this is my first time making an alkaline cheesecake. So if you guys have any other suggestions, please let me know.